From News 8, your local news source, this is breaking news.
From the scene. And we continue to follow breaking news here on Wish TV. An IMPD officer has been shot. This is what we know right now. We are awaiting a press conference with IMPD's chief right now. Until we get you there, let's fill you in on what we know. Limited information, but an IMPD officer was shot after responding to a domestic violence call at an apartment complex. Another female at the scene was also shot. And we're getting word that Mayor Joe Hogsett is walking right next to Chief Breann Taylor right now as they approach the podium to fill us in. Again, this is in regards to an officer shot earlier this afternoon. Let's listen in.
On April 9th, 2020, at approximately 2:46 p.m., officers with the IMPD were dispatched to 1803 Edinburgh Square on a domestic disturbance. 3 officers approached the apartment door. They knocked. Shots were fired through the structure, striking Officer Breann Leath. Other officers pulled her and another victim down a staircase to safety. IEMS responded and transported our officer to Eskenazi Hospital. Despite the best life-saving techniques, Officer Leath was pronounced deceased. Today we mourn the loss of a strong and well-respected officer. An officer that had a desire to be a police officer since she was a child. Officer Leath was kind and loving as a mother of a young child herself. She's the daughter of a family that's been devoted to public safety. She's been a lifelong resident of Indianapolis. She was a graduate of Southport High School. She's 24 years of age. She's also in the Army National Guard as a veteran. She's described as a dedicated officer who showed compassion for the community. She is the example of the type of officer we want on this department. I'm going to turn the podium over to Mayor Joe Hogsett for comments.
Thank you, Chief. Long ago it was written, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God." These are the words that provide hope when confronted with loss. These are the words that we must turn to in faith, because our own words are inadequate tonight. This afternoon at 2:46 p.m., a call went out on the radio. There could be no doubt to any who heard it that danger lay on the other end of that address. For so many of us, danger is a thing to be avoided. Not so for Officer Breann Leath. That's because rather than turn away, Officer Leath turned toward the danger. She heard the call, and she went bravely toward that which could do her harm. Because she knew if she didn't, harm may come to others. Service over self, sacrifice in the name of safety, a thin blue line that is often overlooked but never wavers. These are the principles that guided Officer Leath. These are the principles that guided her every morning when she woke up, put on her uniform, and lived out the oath to protect and serve the people of our community. On this day, Maundy Thursday, in the middle of the holiest week of this year, Officer Leath made the ultimate sacrifice on behalf of her brothers and her sisters, and made the ultimate sacrifice for an ever grateful city. Tonight we mourn the loss of a true hero whose name will forever remind us of the honor, the courage, and the strength of our police officers in the face of such senseless violence. I want to say one final thing to the people of the city of Indianapolis. Tonight at 8 p.m., we had planned to light our city blue in support of those first responders who are dedicating their lives to public service in the midst of the COVID-19 outbreak. First responders like Officer Breann Leath. I am asking that all flags in the city of Indianapolis be lowered to half-staff. And at 8 p.m. tonight, when Monument Circle and other buildings throughout our city are lit up in blue, I am asking that each and every resident of our city find a way to remember the sacrifice of Officer Leath and shower our IMPD family with gratitude as they deal with this unthinkable tragedy. Light a candle, say a prayer, hug your family, and in that moment, remember how lucky we are to have brave men and brave women like Officer Leath in our city tonight and every night. Let us wrap our city's arms around her family, all of her loved ones, and let us wrap our city's arms around our police department so that they may feel the love of a grateful city, forever indebted to the actions of a brave woman. Amen.
Just a couple quick updates. Our Fraternal Order of Police Critical Incident Memorial Response Team has been fully activated through the state Indiana State FOP. They will begin taking steps in line with their responsibilities to honor our hero officer and to also honor her family. In addition to that, the Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department will have the full support and resources of our local, state, and national Fraternal Order of Police during this time. And there will be some unique steps that will have to be taken due to the current environment, and we will be working diligently to step through that with our media partners and the public. As a personal note, we would ask humbly that our residents, as they always do, step forward and reaffirm your support for our officers who continue to stand the line. We've been talking about it during this COVID experience that our officers' resolve is intact. They have not wavered, nor will they, and their resolve will continue. We're heartbroken tonight, and we're going to have some challenges that lie ahead of us. But make no mistake, we will continue to stand that line and protect our city as part of our honoring Officer Leath and her family. Just recently, I shared with people that while we're sad, and for a short period of time we drop our heads, the evil one thinks that he caught us with our head down. He will then see us and hear us say amen and move forward. So we ask our community to join us in doing that and help support this family and our Blue Line family. Thank you.
We'll open it up to questions. Those questions will be answered by Assistant Chief Bailey, Deputy Chief Barker, and possibly Commander Riddle as well. Chris?
Any questions?
How long was she on the force?
2.5 years. 2.5 years.
Any update on the second person who was shot?
I don't have a condition on her, but it didn't seem life-threatening the last update that I received. Not life-threatening.
Any additional information on any other suspects?
No other suspects. One suspect is in custody right now at the homicide office for questioning, but we're not looking for anything else, and there are no current public safety threats. I don't have that information right now. It's still being gathered by the critical incident response team. We'll hopefully have an update over the next 24, 48 hours for you.
You said she has a long background in law enforcement. Can you tell us, or her family has a relationship with law enforcement? Can you tell us about that?
I believe her mother was a longtime 911 dispatcher, and her father is currently a Marion County Sheriff's deputy. I don't right now.
Just to go over once again, you said this was a domestic call, 2:46 this afternoon. 3 officers responded. 2 officers pulled her down the stairs after being shot.
That's my understanding right now, but this is still an ongoing new investigation, and facts could change as it moves forward, but that's my understanding. That was a domestic violence call. 3 officers responded. Shots were fired. Before the officers had even made contact with anybody that I know of, and then she was rescued or brought to safety by 2 other officers that were with her. Yeah, it's not unusual.
What kind of domestic call was this? Husband and wife? Or?
I don't have that information right now. Still, all that's being gathered right now.
Yeah. All right, you've been listening to the press conference from Eskenazi Hospital right now. The news that we didn't want to get, Brooke. Officer Breann Leath, 24 years old, a mother on the force for 2.5 years and a U.S. veteran, losing her life this afternoon after doing what these brave officers do every single day, and that is rush towards the danger.
Yes, we heard from Chief Taylor that Breann Leath was the type of officer he wanted on the department, an absolute stand-up officer who had always wanted her whole life to serve and protect the residents of Indianapolis, an Indianapolis native, Southport High School grad. Mayor Joe Hogsett asking all residents of Indianapolis to find a way to honor Officer Leath's ultimate sacrifice and to show the men and women of IMPD that they have our full support and that we have their backs tonight. But an absolute tragic ending to this domestic violence call received earlier today when Officer Leath and 2 other officers responded, and Officer Leath was shot through the door responding. We will have much more on this coming up here throughout the next hour and on wishtv.com, but for now, we'll be right back.
You're watching Wish TV, Indiana's only statewide TV news network.